I've been glued to Days of Our Lives for more years than I care to admit, through the wild DiMera schemes, the endless Brady family drama, the heartbreaking loves, and even more devastating losses. Salem has a way of ripping your heart out and then somehow stitching it back together with a twist you never saw coming. But this latest cliffhanger with Johnny and Chanel? Oh, honey, it has me pacing my living room, clutching my remote like it's a lifeline. The way Thursday's episode ended left us all gasping. Did that apartment really turn into a fiery inferno that claimed two of Salem's most beloved young lovers? Let's dive deep into this explosive mess, because my gut is telling me we're in for some serious soap opera heartbreak, or maybe, just maybe, one of those classic Days miracles. As longtime viewers know all too well, Sophia has been spiraling for weeks, caught in the web of Kristen DiMera's latest master manipulation. Kristen, ever the puppet master with that icy stare and a grudge as old as the DiMera family fortune, handed Sophia a gun and a clear directive: take out Johnny to strike at EJ where it hurts most. But Sophia? She refused the straightforward violence. No, this girl went full mad scientist on us. Instead of a quick bullet, she rigged something far more insidious and dramatic, a slow-burning trap using everyday items that turned deadly, a flickering candle, nail polish remover as an accelerant, and gas lines just waiting for the right spark. It was clever, cold, and utterly terrifying in that signature Days of Our Lives way. You could feel the tension building as Johnny woke up tied to a chair, his eyes widening in disbelief, while Sophia laid out her twisted plan. He pleaded with her, his voice cracking with that raw emotion Carson Boatman brings so perfectly to the role. Johnny has grown so much since his Soros days, from the troubled son of EJ and Sammy to a man trying desperately to build a stable life with Chanel and their adopted son Trey. In that moment, you saw the fear, the regret, the love for his family flashing across his face. Meanwhile, across town, Chanel was already sensing something was horribly wrong. That maternal instinct, amplified by her recent pregnancy discovery, kicked into overdrive. She raced toward their apartment, heart pounding, unaware that the fire Sophia had set was spreading like wildfire, literally. The flames licked at the walls, smoke billowing thick and black, turning what should have been their safe haven into a death trap. By the end of the episode, as the screen filled with the roar of an explosion and the sickening image of the apartment engulfed in flames, it looked for all the world like both Johnny and Chanel, along with Sophia herself, who burst in at the last second in what seemed like a desperate, last-ditch attempt to save the man she once had complicated feelings for, had been blown to pieces. The camera lingered on the chaos just long enough to leave us screaming at our TVs. No! Not like this. My heart sank. Johnny and Chanel, or Janelle, as so many fans affectionately call them, have been one of the bright spots in Salem's younger generation. Their journey has been anything but smooth, full of misunderstandings, exes popping up, family interference from both the DiMeras and the Price women, and that beautiful, hard-won redemption. Chanel, brought to life so vibrantly by Raven Bowens since she took over the role from Precious Way back in 2023, has grown from a spirited, sometimes impulsive young woman into a devoted wife and soon-to-be mother. Paulina's daughter carries that same fire and resilience her mother does, but with a softer edge that made her chemistry with Johnny electric. And Johnny? Boatman stepped into the adult version of EJ and Sammy's son in 2021 after the Soros jump, and he made the role his own charming, flawed, loyal, and always fighting against the darker DiMera legacy. Their wedding, their struggles with parenthood, the quiet moments where they chose each other despite everything Salem threw at them. It all made this potential loss feel devastatingly real. Now, the rumors and behind-the-scenes news are only adding fuel to the fire, pun very much intended. Reports have surfaced that both Carson Boatman and Raven Bowens have been let go from the show as part of a larger casting shakeup that also affects other young stars like those playing Holly and Tate. The firings were announced earlier this year, but because Days filmed so far ahead, we've been enjoying their storylines for months while knowing something big was coming. This explosive exit feels like the dramatic send-off the writers crafted to give their characters an unforgettable goodbye. But soaps being soaps, nothing is ever truly set in stone. We've seen characters die in fiery crashes, explosions, and even more outlandish ways, only to return years later with a new face or a miraculous survival story. Remember how many times Salemites have cheated death? Still, I have a really bad feeling this time. The way the episode cut away, right as the blast hit, makes it look like Trey's adoptive parents might both be gone, leaving their little boy without the family they've fought so hard to build. Sophia's scientific approach backfiring spectacularly, with her own life potentially caught in the blaze she created, adds another layer of tragedy. Kristen must be watching from afar, realizing her plan to destroy EJ through his son has spiraled completely out of control. The collateral damage could ripple through the entire town. Paulina losing her daughter in such a horrific way would break her. EJ would be consumed by guilt and rage, and poor Trey. My God, the thought of that innocent child orphaned again is almost too much to bear. But let's talk possibilities, because Days of Our Lives loves to toy with our emotions. What if only one of them perishes? Many fans are speculating that Chanel might be the one who doesn't make it out, especially with her pregnancy adding heartbreaking stakes. Imagine Johnny surviving, pulled from the rubble by a timely rescuer, perhaps Javi, or another hero rushing in through the smoke, only to learn that his wife and unborn child didn't survive. That kind of loss could send Johnny spiraling back into his darker tendencies, or drive him to seek revenge against Kristen and anyone connected to the plot. It would be pure soap gold. Anguished hospital scenes, tearful goodbyes, a funeral that brings the whole town together in mourning. Or maybe Johnny sacrifices himself in those final seconds, pushing Chanel to safety just as the explosion hits. Either way, one surviving while the other is lost would create years of storytelling, potential grief, guilt, new romances born from shared pain, or even a ghostly visitation if the show wants to go supernatural. On the flip side, could they both miraculously survive? It's happened before. Maybe the blast throws them clear, or they find a pocket of safety amid the flames. Sophia could have a change of heart at the absolute last moment, helping them escape but perishing herself. Or perhaps rescuers arrive just in the nick of time. Survival would allow Johnny and Chanel to face the aftermath together, rebuilding their lives, raising Trey, dealing with the trauma while their bond grows even stronger. But with the real-world casting news, a permanent exit for both actors seems more likely. The show has been balancing legacy characters with fresh blood for decades, and sometimes tough decisions are made to shake things up creatively. What do I think will happen? My dramatic, soap-loving heart says we're headed for devastating loss, but with a twist that keeps hope alive for future returns. Maybe Chanel clings to life long enough for one final, gut-wrenching scene with Johnny. Or Johnny pulls through, forever changed, while the show honors Chanel's exit with the emotional weight it deserves. Paulina's reaction alone will be Emmy-worthy television. Jack A. Harry doesn't hold back when it comes to maternal fury and grief. Fans, I'm right there with you in this uncertainty. We've invested so much in Johnny and Chanel's love story. From their first sparks to the family they've created, they've represented hope amid Salem's chaos. Whether they both perish in this fire, one survives to carry the pain, or some twist brings them back from the brink, this storyline is going to leave a mark. The explosion wasn't just about flames and smoke. It was about the destructive power of revenge, the fragility of happiness, and the way one bad decision can unravel everything. So, tell me, what do you think? Will Johnny and Chanel both make it out alive against all odds? Or is this the heartbreaking end we've been dreading? Will Sophia's scientific scheme claim her own life as poetic justice? Drop your theories in the comments, because I'm dying to discuss every possible outcome while we wait for the next episode. Salem has survived worse, but losing Janelle might just break us all. Until then, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for a miracle. But bracing for the worst. Days of Our Lives never disappoints when it comes to drama, and this fire might be one of its hottest storylines yet.